My grandmother lifted her crystal flute under the ballroom-sized dining room, the chandeliers dripping light like molten gold, and declared, "Here's to Sophia finally thriving on the trust we built for her." The flute froze halfway to my lips. Trust? I echoed, the word scraping my throat raw. Every candle on the table guttered at once, as if the room itself inhaled. Thanksgiving at the Beaumont estate was always a performance, pearl necklaces, rehearsed laughter, and secrets served colder than the cranberry sauce. I'd arrived in a second-hand velvet dress that cost me 2 night shifts, telling myself one evening of pretending wouldn't kill me. Grandma Eleanor still called me Sweet Pea like I was 7, her voice the only thread that hadn't snapped. Grandpa Victor ruled the head of the table, white mane gleaming, a king who believed money could buy obedience. Mom and Dad swept in late, trailing perfume and excuses. Dad's hand landed on my shoulder like a tax audit, firm, impersonal. Mom air-kissed my cheek and hissed, "Stand up straighter, darling." My brother Liam didn't look up from his phone. Dinner unfolded in silver platters and practiced smiles. Aunt Clara quizzed me about grades and boyfriends with the sweetness of a dental drill. I answered in monosyllables, tracing the rim of my plate, counting heartbeats until I could escape. Then Grandma's toast detonated. The fund. The one seated at my birth, fattened every birthday. Managed, supposedly, by my parents. I turned to Dad. His wine sloshed over the cuff of his custom shirt. Mom's face bleached to bone. Little cousin Noah, cheeks stuffed with yams, whispered, "You didn't know?" The chandelier dimmed, or maybe that was my vision tunneling. Grandpa repeated, slower, "The trust. For Sophia's education. Your parents were trustees." Trustees. The word tasted like rust. I laughed, sharp, ugly. Funny. I've been eating ramen dust and pulling graveyard shifts at the campus cafe. Guess the memo got lost. Mom's voice cracked. Emergencies, sophomore. The roof, Liam's orthodontia. Emergencies, I cut in, don't include your cruise to Santorini. Grandpa's eyes turned glacial. That money had one purpose. Her future. You spend it? Dad bristled. We intended to replenish. Intentions don't pay tuition, I said. Silence swallowed the room. Even the fireplace held its breath. I stood. My chair screamed across marble. You watched me sink and called it character building. Mom reached. I stepped back. Don't. I walked out under a cathedral of judgmental portraits. In the hall mirror, I saw a stranger, eyes blazing, jaw set. Something inside me clicked into place, cold and irreversible. Outside, frost bit my lungs. I drove home gripping the wheel until my palms bled crescents. My studio smelled of old coffee and desperation. I tore off the velvet dress, let it pull like shed skin, and opened my laptop. One search. One bank. One account in my name, balance, $0. Withdrawals signed by Marcus and Diane Beaumont. I printed every statement, every overdraft notice, every shift schedule. The floor became a paper battlefield. Morning found me at the university's free legal clinic. The attorney's pen hovered. If the trust instrument names you sole beneficiary, unauthorized distributions are conversion. Possibly fraud. Fraud. The word fit like a tailored glove. Christmas loomed, fake snow and faker smiles. Grandpa phoned himself. Come, Sophia. You belong here. I went armored in truth. The dining room glittered harder, as if polish could scrub away rot. Mom's hug felt like barbed wire. Dad's nod was a slammed door. Liam muttered sup without eye contact. Dinner crawled. Aunt Clara cooed, still in that quaint walk-up, dear? I waited until Dad rose for his annual toast about family first. I slid a manila folder across the damask cloth. It landed with the finality of a gavel. Since Thanksgiving, I said, I've been asking what trust? Here's the answer. Pages fanned open, bank logs, my ramen receipts, Mom's spa charges. Grandpa's knuckles whitened on the folder. You drained her future for facials and fantasy football drafts? Mom sobbed into her napkin. Dad blustered. We're the victims here. No, I said. I'm the collateral damage you monetized. Grandpa stood, chair toppling. I built that fund with blood and overtime. You pickpocketed your own child. I delivered the kill shot. The bank's fraud unit has copies. Repayment schedule incoming. Court if necessary. Mom wailed. Dad's face purpled. Liam finally looked up, guilt flickering like a bad bulb. Grandpa rounded the table, placed a steady hand on my shoulder. You're not alone, sweet pea. I nodded, throat thick. Mom begged. I met her eyes, empty. You broke the contract the day you spent my first semester on patio furniture. I left without dessert. Snow muffled the world. My footprints filled behind me like erased evidence. January brought a certified letter. Investigation confirmed misappropriation. My parents faced restitution plus penalties. Grandpa met me at a different branch, handed me a cashier's check, $25,000. A note in his spidery script, for the life they postponed. I paid the loans that had kept me awake since sophomore year. The balance hit zero. I exhaled for the first time in 4 years. Graduation day, May sun weak but honest. I crossed the stage in a rented gown, diploma light as forgiveness I hadn't asked for. Grandpa and Grandma cheered from the bleachers. My parents' seats stayed empty. I didn't scan the crowd for them. Family isn't DNA, it's who refuses to let you drown. If you've ever traded silence for survival and finally spoke, drop your city in the comments. You're not alone. Smash subscribe, next upload might be the match that lights your fuse.